Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Women's Affairs and asks, why is the Ministry of Women's Affairs celebrating Suffrage Day?
The Honourable Pansy Wong. Order. Order. Honourable Pansy Wong.
Mr Speaker, on 19 September 1893, New Zealand women won the right to vote. Suffrage Day is New Zealand's first world first. It shows that we are a progressive and fair people, and we also change world attitude. Mr Speaker, it is an event which defines us as a nation, yet we do little to celebrate this significant milestone, and that is something we must change. New Zealanders can and should take pride in our achievements, and this is a significant one. I'm determined to bring about enduring changes that will see Suffrage Day celebration take their rightful place and become part of our national pride.
Louise Upston.
To the Minister of Women's Affairs. What is the Ministry of Women's Affairs doing to celebrate Suffrage Day?
The Honourable Pansy Wong.
Mr Speaker, we will celebrate.
More good news.
For this year, the Ministry of Women's Affairs has organised a series of activities to raise public awareness of our country's first world first achievement. First of all, the book on Maori women and the vote record the huge role of Maori women leaders play in the struggle for women's rights. A web resource was launched at an event in Auckland on Monday. It is now on the Ministry's website. Copies of the original petition that was signed by 32,000 people, of which 23,853 signatures will be on display at the Wellington and Christchurch libraries. The Wellington Civil Square also have some innovative footpath graphic that begin to tell the suffrage story. This evening, women MPs will be joining women organisations and guests to continue our work for the well-being of women, and I invite all the MP to wear these cool buttons to celebrate our women and our nation.
Supplementary question, Sumaroni.
Supplementary to the Minister. Can the Minister point out what permanent fixtures are in this chamber to recognise women's suffrage?
The Honourable Pansy Wong.
Mr Speaker, we have very proudly the camellia in this debating chamber, because I understood when Kay Shepherd presented her petition in this House when John, I'll just try to remember the name, well, not quite Honourable John Key, but his namesake, wrote down the petition of 28,000 names. And Mr Speaker, I understood it caused quite a sound at the debating chamber, and it must be effective, because few months within that, the Parliament, the all-male Parliament, voted to have women participating in general election. And the 31% of my fellow women MP here, everyone does our nation.
Order. Sumaroni. Order. I've called Sumaroni.
To the Minister, which of the following of her government's actions does she think is most worthy of celebrating on Suffrage Day on Sunday? Closure of the Pay and Employment Equity Unit, the widening pay gap between men and women, the obliteration of adult community education, funding cuts to early childhood education, cuts to counselling for victims of sexual abuse, or the scrapping of pay equity reviews for low-paid women.
The Honourable Pansy Wong.
Mr. Speaker, am I glad the suffragists like Kay Shepherd have the can-do positive attitude? I tell you what the national government does the whole nation proud. The national government has the first woman Prime Minister, the Right Honourable Jenny Shipley. And Mr. Speaker, this Shanghai-born migrant Asian woman has made it to be the first elected member of Parliament.
A point of order has been called. Sumaroni, point of order. Order! The House is having a bit of fun, but it must obey the standing orders. Sumaroni, point of order.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker. It's very interesting what the Minister has to say, but she's failing to address the question in any form. I asked her...
Order.
I asked her which of the following of her government's actions she thought was most worthy of celebrating, and I gave her a list to choose from.
It appeared, order, members will know that where they give a list like that, ministers may choose to give a different example of what they're celebrating rather than pick from the member's list, because the member may not think they're celebrating any of those issues. And there's no way I can stop a minister from... There's no way I can stop a minister from doing that, but I would ask the minister please to be brief in her answer. The Honourable Pansy Wong.
Mr. Speaker, National Women's Vision for Women, we have choices. So that's why I choose to want to finish off by saying, and this Shanghai-born Asian migrant woman can make it to be New Zealand's first cabinet minister thanks to the National Prime Minister, Right Honourable John Key, and we have a lot to celebrate for migrants, for women, for everyone.
Is it women's suffrage or our suffrage?
Order. 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 The House. Order. Order. Question number 12, Catherine Delahunty.
Mr.